Hi guys, I'm here today with Momo Hayakawa, who's going to share a little bit about some of the work that she does on a daily basis as a research associate. So I get asked a lot, how do you get a job outside of sort of the traditional academic researcher, gonna be a professor at a school someday? How do you get out of that track and kind of find something else that's not that traditional role?
That's a great question. When I was a graduate student, I didn't know that a research associate was a thing, right? I didn't know, and then when I heard that it was a thing, I also didn't know what that thing looked like or was. My advisor during my PhD program was also a co-PI for this center called the Human Capital Research Collaborative. So while my advisor was a faculty in developmental psychology, he was also partnering with folks from public policy and applied economics. And this center was looking for an interdisciplinary research base. So I'm really fortunate that although I have a child development background, I get to work with a lot of economists and public policy folks from education science, and it just in the project pulls all of these different research interests together, and we work together on educational issues that are relevant to all of us. As a research associate, I wear a couple different hats. I am a researcher, so I take my child development training and I conduct analyses to look at the impact of this high-quality preschool program on student achievement, social development, attendance, and other factors as well, like parent involvement and its role on children's development. I also am a project manager implementing a longitudinal study. So I work on implementing this high-quality preschool to third grade program across 30 plus schools in the Midwest. So I kind of wear this program manager hat and then the researcher hat, and then I also teach a graduate level course.
I think one of the biggest challenges that people run into, and I felt this in graduate school, was that you get sort of focused in this niche field, and breaking out of that, especially at really large institutions, is actually really hard. How do you get to know people in the policy world, and how do you get to know people who are doing social work or education or things that are related to what you're studying but are their own disciplines, you know? And so I think what you're alluding to is this center work. Centers are sometimes these organizations that cross different disciplines across a university. Those are really great places to kind of start that connection point.
Lots of different centers have these kinds of roles where they're looking for researchers with this kind of child development background that could be applied for public policy or different interventions while working with folks from other disciplines. I really like the fact that you're taking the child development research and you're applying it and actually doing something in the world to make a change.
Yeah.
It's actually doing something.
Right.
And that's what's really exciting to me.
Yeah. So you started off as a research associate, but from there you kind of grew and morphed the position a little bit.
Yes.
Can you talk about how that happened and what you did to make that happen?
So when I first completed my PhD and I took on this role as a research associate, I was crunching the numbers and running analyses and doing conference presentations on studies involving the impact of parent involvement on children's achievement. I started to take on more roles and responsibilities. I would attend different work groups across the state, or I would be involved with, for example, like a Department of Education workshop on family engagement, and just kind of being more involved, learning more about this field that is different from my PhD, what I have my PhD in.
Right.
After a year and a half, the position opened up to be the program manager to implement the Child Parent Center P3 program. It was nice to figure out, okay, what is my research associate role, and then slowly add on more responsibilities as I could figure out how to juggle them. It was okay that I didn't have this formal training, and it was on the job training,
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
because the skills that I acquired during my PhD set me up so that I could learn more.
It's an interesting thing because sometimes the job that you get first right out of graduate school or right out of undergrad even is not going to be your forever job, usually. And so how do you use that position that's maybe not totally ideal for you, but that can help you build towards the next thing? Because you can always be learning in whatever position you're in. So even if you're looking at a position that you're like, I'm not necessarily crazy about this, take everything you can from it because it might lead to other opportunities and other things down the road. Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today about other careers and opportunities out there. I think you shared a lot of really great things for us. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Share with others who you think might find this interesting. Subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you!